Welcome back. I'm Mike McBath. I'm here with Christopher Hart. We were just doing Bruce Jenner's theme song, Dancing with Myself, because I'm still trying to put the picture together. I know Hollywood has already put the picture together because we already are set for a series coming up. Is that not correct, Chris?
That's correct. And I just got a couple of texts during the break. I got this from Carl Jackson. He says, truth is relative, huh? That's an absolute statement. If Jenner is transgender, Dolezal is transracial, is Obama trans-presidential? I think he might fit into the transgender category when I saw him exercising that time. And then he says, as far as Dolezal, she's already gotten two offers
right.
from reality
that's
TV.
What I'm saying is, what we're really doing is setting up the fall TV schedule, on all the networks. And this is, I guess it keeps everybody talking, keep them on most of the shows.
And then this from Dr. K, and then we'll go to the phone lines. NAMBLA, that's the North American Man-Boy Love Association, is already petitioning the courts to legalize consensual homosexual sex between a grown man and a young boy, which, by the way, is a common practice in Muslim countries. And they don't view that as pedophilia. To get back to the caller,
that's sick. They
do.
Sick.
They actually have a name for it. They do not consider it to be homosexuality. They do not consider it to be pedophilia.
I have a name for it.
Sick. Yeah, it's sick. When my nephew, one of my nephews, got back from his first tour of Iraq, I asked him what it was like over there. He said, bizarre. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, over there they have a saying. It goes, girls are for making babies, boys are for having fun.
Isn't that?
You want to talk about sick? All right, we got time for. We got a couple of calls on the line. If I don't get to both of you, whoever I don't get to, we'll get to Steve Harris. Please hold through the break. We will take your call on the other side. Steve, thank you for calling. We appreciate you being out there.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Hart. I can't say as much for the intro. That's absolutely nothing to do with what I want to talk about. But I'll preface this by saying that I don't usually agree with what you guys have to say. I probably voted the opposite from almost every election. But in order to continue the political discourse, I will listen with respect. I will talk with respect. But there are a couple of things I want to bring up, and they have to do with a couple of phrases. And the first is an old Mark Twain phrase. It has to do with lies, damn lies, and statistics. And the second one is correlation does not imply causation. And it goes back to the list that you presented about the 10 poorest cities in America. And I dropped out of the radio for a moment, but I'm assuming that your point is that they all happen to have Democratic mayors and have done so for a while.
Well, it just didn't happen
for a while, like 50 years, 40 years, 30 years.
One of them over a century, and Miami's never had a Republican mayor. But go ahead.
But the thing is, gentlemen, I think you can look at the other end of the spectrum if you look at the richest cities in America. And if you go down from the top of the list, in terms of per capita income, it's San Francisco, San Jose, D.C., Seattle, Boston, New York City, Los Angeles, Denver, and Austin. And the one thing those cities all have in common is, guess what? They all have Democratic mayors.
Now, let me help you on that. I can respond to that. You can also look at the industries that they have. They have the tech industry, and all the areas that are paying fabulous salaries that most of the other states don't have. And that's why California is a false picture of an economy. They're doing great in one specific or two specific areas.
Yeah, well, this is, and Democrats complain about the economic divide in the country when they are predominantly responsible for it. The reason that those cities are the richest is because they're government-centered. In other words, government provides a lot of incentives for the people who are there. Just take Washington, D.C., for instance.
Washington is a perfect example of another one.
Exactly. So I understand your point, Steve. If you'd like to stay through the break, we'll continue the conversation because I appreciate you calling. Okay? And Harris, you stay on the line. We'll get to your call, too. And, folks, if you'd like to be a part of the show, we welcome your calls as well. Aubrey Kahn has just entered the studio. 407-774-8255 is the number. We'll be back after this short break. And don't forget, we'd love to see you, no matter what your political persuasion, at Cafe Positano on Monday. We'll be back.